today. A lot. Um, this first of all, this. I'm just gonna show you this first of all because I think we might have a problem in this country if this is what's catching the news. If this is what is making the news now, um, the problem might be just big. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but when dogs when dogs are putting caps in people, when when is enough, America? When is like, you know what? Not everyone and their dog should have one. Not everybody. You know what I mean? Like what's enough? What is enough? I don't know. I would have figured when it came to like schools and kids, that was kind of my line. Uh you would have figured when it happened to politicians, they would have drawn the line. Um I'm wondering now if, you know, dogs seeking revenge. I mean, we can't ask them, so we don't know. But I'm just wondering if this is maybe where America draws the line. I'm wondering if this news story where dog blank woman pew pew women with a shoddy at Nebraska convenience store. Um, if this is where America's like, you know what, this is almost like a parody of what ideally we'd like. This doesn't this doesn't bode well for us as a nation. If the dogs are even putting holes in us. Oh, okay. My dog agrees, so never mind. My dogs are peaceful. What's up, Smoking Blondie? One way, one truth. No one's someone. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Nobody knows. Thank God, Rob, you saved me from the Parker Get a Job troll show. What the is that, Salties? I don't know what that is, but I'm glad everybody's here. And I just wanted to start with, I mean, Donald Trump's going to the doctors. It's Big Donnie's doctor day. So we'll listen to a little of that. Um, there's some fascinating articles out right now. There's one about the MAGA moms that it's just so interesting to read about these people who have a full-on devotion to Orange Man. Um, and they just get screwed over. You almost wonder, like, it's a weird conundrum to think about the humans that are like, I'm fully devoted to this man who is now poisoning my food more and removing my health care and protections and making it harder for me to feed my children, but the devotion is there. It's a um I don't know. It's a cult. That's all it's a cult. It's a cult. Um Nebraska, there you go. What's up, BCJ? Um Yeah, so this story real quick cuz I read there's nothing to it. It's just I'm like, this is like, is this the country we envision? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I read a news story and I think, when they were fighting the Civil War to make the Declaration of Independence good on its promise to black folks, did somebody sit and think like, one day in the future there's going to be some dumb redneck white lady, no, not redneck, some hillbilly white lady that I'm glad she has her freedoms to keep a loaded shoddy in the back of her truck so when she gets out and the dog jumps across the seat, she can get popped in the arm. Like I'm just like, is that what they envisioned the freedoms they were fighting for? I would at this point in my life, I think if I got an opportunity to have a time machine, never mind going to see my dead parents or my dead friends or make any different decision in life. At this point, if I got a time machine, I would go back and bring these news articles and I think I'd be like, yo, you know how hard you're fighting for this so-called freedom? Yo, I just need to explain to you that in the year of our Lord 2026, people are stripped of health care, they can't afford food, gasoline. I know you don't know what that is, but gasoline is very expensive. It takes gasoline runs the whole economy. People are suffering, but they have one devotion to what you would kind of call a monarch. Very King Georgian. And I would just like to go back and be like, but don't worry, because everybody's allowed, what do you guys call them? Muskets? Everybody's allowed a musket and their dogs are popping them in the arm. I'd just like to see what the temperature is on people and if maybe they're like, oh shit, this is not worth doing. They're like, I'll give anything to see the reaction of the people who fought so hard to ensure freedoms and human dignity for their fellow countrymen, to like that dignity to be whittled down to like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna drive around with the shotty in the back of my truck and my dog might shoot me, but oh well, freedom. I don't know. I don't know. My mom and dad haven't stopped supporting Trump. It's been so devastating in my understanding of who I thought they were. They're strangers to me at this point. Oh, that's so sad, man. I really feel for you. Trump will pardon the dog. The dog has received a full pardon, and he's applying to these 1776 Donald Trump Todd Blanche slush fund. He's seeking damages for political weaponization of making him look bad at that gas station. He was just trying to bark at a poodle, and his gun went off. Oh my God. Um, it's understandable to feel they're strangers too. I'd basically say all Trump supporters now are against human rights or people that aren't like them. Yeah, they've really, but that's been the whole Donald Trump machinery pivots on us versus them, us versus them. And you can even be one of us and then become one of them. Let's see the gynecologist, Megan Kelly, uh, what's his name? Tucker Carlson. All those people that were once paying fealty to their dear Lord, now they're like, whoa, wait a minute. He said the F word on Easter. I don't know about that. It's a weird turn, but Donald Trump went right after him. So that's the whole thing. It's us and them eating the dogs and the cats. It's us and them, criminals and not sending the best. It's us and them, the radical people who want you to have health care. It's us and them, the Iranians. It's us and them. And it's really not, you know? It's Donald Trump and his cronies structuring the system to give themselves complete and full immunity while they have access to all of the money, uh, versus all of us. And I mean, like Iranians, any oppressed people anywhere, anyone, like that's what I want people to understand. It's like any human with a shred of decency, you're with us. Um, Dog lives matter, but who said that? No one's someone. I wonder, what are your parents, if you even have talked to them? Like, uh, what, what are they holding on to? This is what I can't understand. Like, what is the thing that they're like, no, 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 bro's got my back. Like, that's what I can't. No, I guess it's just a cult because even this, what is it? This article that I was reading, it's a great article. I don't think I linked it in the comments, but just search, what is it? The Times, New York Times. Moms delivered for Trump. Now he's scamming them. This article's so fascinating. Uh, I'll hit a couple pieces of it because that's the other thing. Donald Trump loves moms, and not the moms of his kids, but other moms. And last week he announced a whole new website, moms.gov, to prove it to you. Moms.gov, brought to you by Trump prescriptions. If you haven't seen moms.gov, I went there. It's basically, I don't even think this is like an official website. It's moms.gov, which Donald Trump started for moms, is basically a website where it funnels. Hold on. The website may be underwhelming, but its existence is a rare concession that Trump is very unpopular. Granted, several primary victories for Trump-backed candidates suggest he still has the party, but his coalition isn't impervious to political fracturing. Hold on. Where that's the underbabied. This article's so great because they talk about Dr. Oz making up the word underbabied. Oh man, this is kind of crazy. But where do they talk about the okay, the moms.gov. Moms.gov, uh, where is it? Loving the ideas of mothers is easy. Supporting women is much harder. Babies are real, they gotta eat. To provide for them, the economy has to redistribute as the largest. Families have to be able to afford healthcare, and healthy food has to be accessible for every mother. Neither the recent White House event nor moms.gov website mentioned racial disparities in health access or nutrition. And tellingly, it did not focus on the well-documented maternal health crisis among Black women. It's yet another indication that every Trump initiative is an opportunity to reframe American social policy as white entitlement. The president is undoubtedly still the ringleader of MAGA, but this coalition is not content and is not permanent. When it comes to the complex, messy politics of motherhood, the midterms will soon arrive. Um, Surely the other side can do better than underbabied. That is so funny. But where, God, I wish I could make notes. Because this moms.gov thing. So basically, when I was perusing the website, it is talking about, yeah, it's a white conservative motherhood site. So basically, all of these resources point to like these pregnancy places that I didn't take a picture of, but they're like pregnancy resources. And it's all these pregnancy places that are not like legit. They're places that are trying to convince you to just have the baby, irregardless. Like they don't take your life consideration into any regard. And they're just like, no, you should just give birth, you know. And I'm sure they do the like show the photos and be like, isn't this a life? You know, maybe it's a dolphin embryo. We don't know. But they're just like, I don't know. Does this look like your baby? You know, and they just play on the women's emotions. But then there's shit like this where it's like, hey man, we're for you. Why don't you have a Trump account for your kid? You know, because everything he does with anything online and money investing seems to be good. If I like, listen, if you're a new mother and you're going to this website, like for real, I just want you to do a little bit of critical thinking. I want you to think of all the other things that Donald Trump has presented and tried to present as a legit materializing um, benefit to you. And I want you to go look up the video of the guy who ordered 4 Trump phones that do not exist and will not be coming. I would like you to look up Trump University, Trump charities. I would like you to look up the Iran deal that he said was very near to happening yesterday, and now Donald Trump is bombing Iran again. I would like you to just look up before you go, hey man, I want to jumpstart my child's future with a guy who is consistently, if not wrong in what he says, blatantly lying. I want you to look up the Trump crypto coin, okay? I'd like you to see how that is doing. And I would like you to seek out somebody who invested their future in the Trump crypto coin. But this is what it is. The next one, when you slide down, it's Donald Trump RX. So it's just pumping all the Trump stuff where he's probably getting a cut of the action, you know, or got a cut of the action, or has licensing rights, has licensed his name to utilize this, like the airport in Florida. If you don't know, they're trying to rename an airport after Donald Trump in Florida, and he licensed his name to the airport. So it's not like they're doing it in honor of him. They're doing it as a marketing deal, like a let's shake hands. We'll give you this much money out of taxpayer funds to use your name on. Like that is just that's the worst. That is just so it's very pathetic, you know? It's not even like people want to honor him. He's like, no, no, no. If you want to honor me, it's gonna cost some money. Cost some money to honor me. So this article is amazing. One of the craziest parts is hold on. Where do they talk? I don't want to read the whole thing, but it's a very oh yeah, yeah, here it is. Bucolic imagery of faceless pregnant women standing in a golden field dominates the whole page. A lot of real estate is also dedicated to controversial pregnancy centers, codes for places that distribute conservative anti-abortion counseling masquerading as healthcare. That was the sentence. It's a mostly sloppy rebranding of culture war talking points. That's all this is. And these MAGA moms, that's one of the things where I don't understand. Trump deserves some credit for being politically savvy. Embracing this coalition in all its messiness helped him become a political juggernaut. Catering to Maha, Make America Healthy Again moms, earned him a crucial endorsement from Kennedy Jr. They got duped by Kennedy, you know? Like that dude's a do nothing. He hasn't made one fucking stand on your word statement or any kind of all he's done is like been like, I don't know, I guess we're gonna poison everything. I guess we're gonna do more glyphosate or whatever, glyphosate on the stuff I told you we weren't going to. It's like, dude, what are you here for? Just to catch snakes at Dr. Oz's house? If you haven't seen that video, there's a video of Kennedy Jr. catching two snakes, getting bitten multiple times by them, and making a video of it. I'm like, do you guys have nothing else going on? Like, what the fuck is the health secretary doing catching two snakes hanging out at Dr. Oz's house? Like, is this why he has such a high paying salary? And Kennedy recruited an army of women to his cause. Um, so then they talk about how Sarah Palin shaped the political landscape in the years previous with saying, "You don't want to mess with the mama grizzly," she said. The mama grizzly line morphed into a more generalized mama bear politic. But mama bear's always been around. I think they're saying Palin brought it to the political stage. A moral appeal to fecund motherhood that whitewashes punitive, anti-feminine, anti-female, anti-family sentiment and policy as wholesome Americana. Yeah. It looks like a mother with a gun happy to use it to defend her kids. It's a freedom not extended to mothers of black kids, though, carrying Skittles. Good point, and that's key. Mama bears are defending America's white future. And just think about that sentence. They're saying the mama bear line in politics looks like a mother with a pew, happy to use it to defend her kids, but that is not a freedom extended to mothers of black kids carrying Skittles. Their violence is moral, not deviant. The GOP spin boys have rarely done it better. Donald Trump embraced the mama bear ethos, framing conservative mothers as the real warriors of his culture war. Anytime you hear culture war, just know that's a distraction. Distraction tactics. We are not here to fight against each other. I am not keeping the wages down. I am not raising gas prices. I am not taking your health care from you. I am not making rent more more unaffordable. I am not raising grocery prices. I am not stripping you of your rights as a worker. I am not trying to make your food less healthy. In fact, I stand for all of that. I think most Americans would stand for all of that, except the ones in a cult, where the cult leader dictates where they their beliefs lie. Um, he flatters women as strong as and heroic moms, but he cheated on Barron's mom with Stormy Daniels. I don't know your words. I always think of DMX when he says talk is cheap. Uh, so Donald Trump flatters women. Is that all it takes? Okay. As he did at a recent event celebrating Gold Star mothers. Um, let's get down to the political interests favor the party's masculine interests, like waging needless wars over the mom's concerns. On the domestic policy front, Maha moms are scared of what artificial intelligence is doing to their kids' mental health. Did you guys see um, the article out of the UK where some doctor was talking about what was it? Some doctor was talking about social media being as bad as smoking cigarettes. I didn't get to read the whole article, but Um, Donald Trump is a joke. I grew up with him. We boys together living in New York or Jersey in the 60s. Guys like me put, well, hold on. Guys like him where we wanted him. Dr. Mark J. Masayer, New York. Mark, is that for real? Hopefully Mark's still here. Mark, is that for real? I've heard Mary Trump talk a lot about his upbringing from what she can recollect and the stories she was told. But that's what he looks like. He from everyone that I've heard, read, or talked to, it very much looks like Don. Hold on. Where's old where's old Cankle himself? Old Cankle himself. I mean, he's gotta get these looked at, right? You gotta, I mean, you can't be walking around looking like that. Uh, but from what I can identify of all the input I've taken in on Donald Trump, he looks for the weakest guy in the room, and this is how he acts accordingly. He looks for the weakest guy in the room. He can sniff that out, and he'll bully them to gain leverage with people who may be tougher than him. It's also why you saw with Xi Jinping, he's a very docile creature in China. He was nothing like American Trump. Chinese Trump was very much like, "Ooh, I love your 1,000-year tree. Ooh, this is a beautiful garden, best in the world." He's very subservient around a man who, you know, demands some respect. And here in America, there's a lot of spineless cowards that will just cater to somebody's whims, not only because they probably feel inferior and somebody else is portraying this peacock of a display of like, I have all the power, but because they also think it's self-serving. You know, I think 100% for real, sir. Not that I'm proud of it, but it's the way business is run. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think anybody would. So did you grow up in Queens? I'm so curious if you could give me more insights or stories or anything. I'm very, very interested to hear more from you, Mark. Um, Mark, that's a hell of an experience. Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, Mark. So I have a lot of family in New York, and around the New York area. And I've always said, like, that's why New York didn't vote for him. Because most people, not most people, people in New York have known of Trump forever. That's where he, you know, caused the most ruckus trying to get the world's attention. And most people in New York knew he was just a spoiled brat who, it was like the art of the scam, like that's what he did. His whole thing was like, hey, put my name on this. You want to buy a Trump steak? I have gold names and that's what we do. So do you want a golden level steak? And it's all like snake oil salesman, grifter. Look over here while, I pull some money out of your pocket and boom, I'm gone. Uh, so people in New York like knew that. But what you're talking about, people being able to put him in his place, when he gets out of that element of people knowing, being able to smell the cowardice on him, and he gets into different elements, like what TV did for him, The Apprentice, what his image has kind of been refurbished multiple times through this washing machine of podcasts like Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Tim Dillon, all these flagrant with Andrew Schultz. I'm trying to think. I don't think Tim Dillon talked to him, but Logan Paul, right? I forget, but that's like a washing machine for him because he goes on and they treat him like he's king shit. And what that signals to all their subservient men, to all the men that worship them is, oh, we gotta, if my lord Joe Rogan is bowing down to Trump, we must too. We must also pay fealty to the good Lord. And hopefully he lets us work these grounds some more, you know. But Mark, I have family in Queens, family in northern New Jersey. We have businesses in both states, eventually from coast to coast. And guys like him are showmen, and guys like me are low profile. Well, see, Mark, I understand. Yeah, that's a great word. Thank you. He's a showman. That's what Trump is. He's a showman, but he also has this predatory instinct. See the Epstein files, asterisk, see Epstein files. He has a predatory instinct to be able to find, and I think this would be because he's a coward. So a coward, it takes one to know one kind of thing. To be able to sniff out the other coward to make yourself look bigger. It's like he's got that jail instinct, though he will never go to jail, to like find the weakest dude and bully him to, get people to be like, oh, okay. But he is a showman. That's all it is. There's been nothing of substance to anything he's done. And that's the other part that you mentioned. Like most people who are diligently grinding it out aren't that showy. I don't know how else to put it. They're not that flamboyant about all the things they've done. Not to make broad generalizations, but that is so fascinating. Mark, I appreciate your comments. I hope you hit subscribe and the notification bell. Uh, how did his crime family have a wedding without the Don? Yeah, listen, Salty Slave, oh, what's up, Voided? The tri-state are did not vote for him. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, Void. Like Mark can attest, the people who grew up through the what would it be, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then 2000s with Donald Trump, like all my family, they're like, is America fucking stupid? you know, they're like, this dude is a worse than a showman. He is the P.T. Barnum. He is like, I have the bearded lady, and if you want to see her, I need your votes. And the bearded lady is just like some dude that's overweight. And then he skips town. And that's literally what he did on his campaigns. He went out and promised them the world. That's why I have the audio of the Arkansas farmers saying, like, you came here and said you loved us. We need to see the fruits of your love. And I'm like, that's a good B.T. Barnum move. He comes into town. He's like, I promise you the world. I'll be back. You just stay here away from me. Give me your vote. So he's like the worst. He's a predatory showman, which is very American. That's why I think a lot of America identifies with him because they they want a predatory showman. But like I've said, man, if you know anyone from the New York area, the majority that are like my age or older, the majority of them just this is a mockery of everyone's intelligence, and just people are slowly finding out. More used car salesmen from Queens. No, it's not like I couldn't used car salesmen. At least they're working hard. This is literally a guy who does not put in work. There is no work to be done. You know, he coasts alone on his name and his ability to bully others. There's no work. If there's any work he's been doing, it's in figuring out who to go after next to make other people fall in line. And that's really kind of the heartbreaking thing that you see with America. You watch these people just morally crumble at the altar of Donald Grump. What are some better nicknames for him? What are some good nicknames? I always call him Epstein's best friend. No, I don't want his Sloppy Steve. No, no, I don't want his nicknames for other people. Oh my God. I don't want his nicknames for other people. That's Cheeto Satan, Trampolian, Vladdy's boy, the Mango Mussolini. Oh, this is funny. Sweet Potato Hitler, Don Horleone. Don Horleone. He and Giuliani never went away. I'll give you a good example. When a person from professional sports retires, they write books and they make public appearances and they're paid very well. So we will use him for the same purpose. Huh. You mean like good hold on. Did I miss? Oh, he didn't have any predatory instinct when he was in the federal court system in New York and convicted. He was the coward. That's no, well, that's Mark, that's exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to uh Mango Mussolini. When it comes to Mango Mussolini, that's a real picture. This is not altered. Um terrifying, right? When it comes to Mango Mussolini, that is one of the things that I was saying. There has to be someone that he can identify as much weaker. If it's a room full of people who have a spine, who know what they stand for, who aren't willing to compromise or don't think that service to him will yield dividends for them, uh, he's no good. The only way this can operate is with weak-minded people like Joe Rogan. Ooh, I do have Joe Rogan. I haven't got to play any audio, so let's jump into, since we're speaking of this. This is this is so crazy because Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, right? Big mainstream media influential podcaster. Hold on. It's the weirdest thing. I didn't realize how many words we pronounce wrong. What are we pronouncing wrong? Salty, my voice chat doesn't understand my Chicago accent. Ah, just you're never pronouncing it wrong. You know what I mean? I wish. I wish, Lemony. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell. I love the Dark Storm. Ooh. What is that? Some like white supremacy reference or something? I love when these people are like, get off your high horse. What have you done? I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't stole all of your tax money. I didn't make your gas prices shoot through the roof. I'm not murking schools. Uh, I'm not murking schools full of girls. I'll tell you what I haven't done. A lot of things that Donald Trump has. I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't robbed Americans of their rights in healthcare. I have not robbed Americans of their right to justice. I've not robbed Americans of their tax money by spending so much of it on just bogus shit or just scamming it for himself. You know, that's what I haven't done. So, so you know what I mean? When you think that rhetoric works, what have you even done? I don't know. If I didn't do that much damage, I'm just proud of myself. If I could say I'm not stealing $1.776 billion from taxpayers to pay off my family and friends, you know what? Today was a good day. Today was a good day for me. You kept your money because I didn't steal it. But then again, you lost your money because Donald Trump did. You know, it's such a weird. I don't know. Maybe that kid's like 18, and he's like, "I got it. I got it." I'll say, "What have you even done?" You know, while he's like playing Fortnite, dropping slurs. But come on, buddy. Come on. Let's be a big boy. Let's put on some big boy pants here, and let's have a real conversation. You know, because if I was president and doing this stuff, woo, I don't think you'd be being quiet. If I was dipping into your tax money, saying, hey, buddy, why don't you come pay some taxes, sweetheart? I got some affiliates I got to pay off. You know, I don't think you'd be too quiet. But again, because you're a weak minded, feeble person, that's what you bring. And I'm trying to encourage you to be stronger than that. That's what my whole show is about. I'm trying to instill a little bit of confidence in these young boys so they don't end up like this guy. Ready? Didn't Trump do a. Hold on. I love how Joe Rogan, mainstream podcaster, one of the biggest podcasts in the world, gets tricked by TikToks and AI all the time. Doesn't know any of the news. He's like, didn't this happen? Like, Joe, if you're going to talk about it, just read an article first. It's not that hard to read an article. I mean, what is he doing? A 3 hour podcast once a week? Don't you have 6 other days, Joe? Didn't Trump do a lot of like stock purchases? Yeah. He's made a fortune. He's made a fortune in this term. And Joe just laughs. They're like, "Yeah, dude, he's trading stocks as president." And Joe just like giggles. I should have pulled up a clip when Joe talks about other politicians' stock trading. Not with the IRS. I think that's why a lot of it came out recently. But like he can't be charged with anything or. Yeah, they can't be. The latest thing is that he and his kids and his company cannot be audited.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. That's my
What
settlement.
what was the settlement? What was the IRS being sued for?
This is so crazy that this dude who helped get him elected is hearing about the just blatant corruption, disregard for the laws, just absolute insanity that's happening right now. Like there's no justice, there's no rules anymore unless you're a working person. And Joe just is like, that's cool, and laughs. He's not like, this is kind of fucked, man. Or he didn't pull out his old, this isn't what I voted for. That's the good, like, cover me. And it's so crazy that Joe just knows none of this. Like, Joe, have you been on your yacht for the past couple weeks? Like, what have you been doing, Joe? You don't know that Donald Trump settled, he sued the IRS because again, he's the only president, I always joke about this, he's the only president who hasn't released his taxes. Usually before someone becomes president, you just want to know if there's any like corruption, maybe criminal stuff. You just want to make sure everything's on the up and up. That's why MAGA was so, butthurt about Hillary and her emails and Biden's son, and like they wanted to make sure things were on the up and up. But when it comes to Donald Trump in 2015, I think it was, or 16, he was like, I'll release my taxes, I'm getting audited. And I talk about this all the time because I was on the radio at that time and I thought that, oh, that's funny. And then months went by and we were like, oh, I'm guessing the audit's taking a very long time. And here we are like 10 years later, right? And he never he never um it's just so crazy. So somebody from the IRS leaked a sheet of his taxes. I don't know if you remember this. It was a lot of years ago. And that person went to jail. But what Donald Trump did in response, which is so fucking crazy, as the president, he sued the IRS. So he sued his own government as a private entity. Him and his sons and his businesses sued. And then Todd Blanche, who's his criminal attorney running the Department of Justice, when Donald Trump withdrew the lawsuit that was for 10 billion, they settled with Todd Blanche. Um, and it's just so fucking bizarre that Joe Rogan's. I think he's just playing naive. Maybe Joe Rogan with this whole like, if he knew the details of it, then he would have to act accordingly. But because Joe Rogan can kind of play coy, I'm just a dumb guy asking questions. What happened? Then he can just play stupid. But still, anybody here, like when I'm telling you this story, your natural reaction should be like, oh, this seems absolutely corrupt. Like, no question. No question. And Joe just like, oh man, what happened? What's going on? Donald Trump's like, oh, what? He's sued. It's so crazy that people would take this man for real. And especially, you know, with all the issues Joe's had in the past with so many other people.
That's my
What
settlement.
what was the settlement? What was the IRS being sued for? What was the accusation?
Here's for his the leak of his tax returns.
Okay, so the IRS leaked his tax returns?
Yeah, he's
No, somebody in the IRS leaked them. God damn.
reckless and yeah.
No, they weren't. Somebody leaked them and that person's in jail. Jesus. What the fuck are these people doing on a podcast?
Settlement of his $10 billion lawsuit.
2018 leak of his tax returns to New York Times in the U.S. is forever barred and precluded from examining or prosecuting Trump, his sons, and the Trump organization's current tax filings, according to one-page document released Tuesday. That is so crazy. Imagine like somebody accused you of murder,
Yeah.
and it turns out you weren't guilty of that murder, and then you sue them, and you go, "You can never prosecute me for murder again," and then you just go straight Uday Hussein.
Yeah. And they're like, it's cool. Yeah.
That's a weird analogy. Not kind of like that, but he did get the part right where like you can never prosecute me again. That's what it says in the settlement. I've read it for you. I've showed it to you many, many times. It's just so crazy. Running DEI candidates. Donald Trump's a DEI candidate. Are you kidding me? He got everything off his dad. Are you saying DEI is like a racist code word? You have to specify. Because if you're just talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, that is like 100%, 100% Donald Trump. His equity is from his dad. He's not running on his own merits. They're including him because he has his dad's money. Unless you're saying it's like a racist code word, Kurt, you got to just clarify. If you're like, no, I'm just being, subtly racist, you know? Because again, America's known for running so many diverse candidates. I would like you to look at the long, storied history of presidents in America. And I just want you to tell me how many have a dark complexion. Like, this is what I mean. People just don't live in reality, you know? The can't bring this back. Does Rogan know you use his pics for fake bullshit? Wayne, what's fake? That I'm playing Joe Rogan's audio? No, could you please, Wayne, could you please let Joe Rogan know, that Rob, tell him I used to be on the radio in San Diego. We met a bunch of times when he was calling Carlos Mencia out for stealing jokes, which I hope Carlos Mencia or Ed, whatever his real name is, Carlos calls Joe out. That would be great if Carlos was like, Joe, you're stealing Brendan Schwab jokes. But no, let him know that I'm using his photo. You know that old rule. You got to get someone's permission before you use their photo to talk about them or play their audio. You know that old chestnut. Listen guys, here on the show we have a sacred oath to humanity. Are you a Joe Rogan fan? Are you a Joe Rogan fan? Because I gotta wonder if you really like hold yourself to such high regards of, hey man, you're spewing bullshit. But Donald Trump can tell you that, like, hey man, buy my phone, and then change all the language to there will be no phones. I just don't buy this fake morality from people, especially when they've aligned themselves to causes that are absolute scams. These are posturing peacocks. That's all they are. Joe Rogan has done more damage to this country than any other podcaster. Any other podcaster. He has one of the largest audiences, and this is his reaction when Donald Trump's like, "Hey, I'm immune from the laws now." He's just like, "Yeah, man. Whoa, that's crazy." It's so funny how concerned he's been, how concerned Joe is. If the Democrats got control, and that's why he had to go with Donald Trump. He's so concerned. But now, seeing this stuff in real time, like, apparently Joe Rogan doesn't look at the news. He just goes into his podcast blind, which is also supreme fucking talent right there. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna read anything. No, no, no. We'll just guess at shit the whole podcast. All 3 hours is us being like, I don't know, man. Can you bring that up, Jamie? Let's read it right now. Um, and no, that's the other thing. Listen to this. Like, there's nothing funny here. He laughs about it, but it's like he's not the comedian that he's pawning himself off as.
This thing is that he and his kids and his company cannot be audited.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. That's my settle.
I love that that's his reaction. Tom Segooner or whatever his name is like, oh, so the settlement is like Donald Trump, and I've read you this. It's not just Donald Trump, his kids, and his companies, but it says any known affiliates. So if you're loosely affiliated, the dude Mark, I don't know if Mark's still here. The dude Mark, who is a loose affiliate of Donald Trump, can never be audited again forever. You know what I mean? Like, loose affiliates is some language you do not see in fucking those kind of terms and those kind of ironclad, generalized, broad fucking settlements where they're like any known or unknown loose affiliates of Sir Trump can never and forever be investigated. Like, dude, that's fucking insane. And Joe Rogan's just like cool and laughs about it. He's not like, could you imagine? Could you imagine if this was anybody else? He doesn't even consider that. Could you imagine what other kind of governments have implemented things like this, where they put themselves not just immune to the law, but above it? It seems a little scary, right? I don't know. And all this is going on while he's creating the anti-weaponization fund. He doesn't want the law to be weaponized. That's why he has immunity. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Ooh, that's a bad comment. I'm on the side where men are men and women are women. That's what's hold on, hold on. That that is what's pressing in your life right now? Like, in your life, there's so many people, I play clips all the time. There's so many people that worry about finances, gas, their work, layoffs, AI taking over, data centers poisoning their thing, there's a war going on, they're losing healthcare. All these things are happening, right? And you're like, "You know what's on my top priority? What's a man and what's a woman?" Like, but what's that saying? Tell me you're not a serious person without telling me. Is that kind of that's the thing, right? Like, let me know you're not a very serious person without exactly telling me. Like, describe it in a straw man argument. That just says, just so you know, this is why mods don't delete anybody unless they say a slur. Um, that's why I like when people share these things because it's like I want people to understand that when you hear someone say that and all this stuff is happening, like we're just listening to Joe Rogan talk about Donald Trump being immune to any laws forever. Well, he's president, he's immune to can't be charged with anything, and now the IRS can never look into forever. That's the verbiage. Forever. He cannot be audited. Him, his sons, his company, and known affiliates can never be investigated. And you're like, no, 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 I don't, who cares about that, man? What is a man? What's a woman? Like this, that's your take. You might have brain damage. I hate to be the one to break it to you. Donald Trump's going to the doctor today. Maybe you should go. Maybe you should go and be like, doctor, I'm absolutely obsessed with men and women and their gender roles in society, and I cannot not talk about it. You know, he might send you to a therapist because that's really what it seems like. That seems like some early onset trauma that you experienced where now your brain is broken. And as an adult, you say shit like that when people are, when big kids are talking. You know, the big kids are talking right now. Adorable little one. We know. You're on the team that's men, men, women, women. I wish I had my Rudy Giuliani dressed in drag, you know, or I wish I had, what's her name? Christy Nome, her husband with his big fake balloon boobs, boo balloons. Um, it's really incredible. And what team is that you're on, by the way? Is that Caitlyn Jenner's team? Is that the team you're on? You know what I mean? Like your argument just kind of falls apart once you. This is why I don't dissect these arguments because it's stupid and it's something to distract, but I really love when people say it because I go, okay, everybody, you see that person? He's letting you know he is not a serious person. Do not engage with him. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. If he thinks the pressing needs of our time right now are still um, deciphering, you know, what is the traditional man role and what makes a man, it's like let him go back to Matt Walsh's or what's that dude? That dude with the beard on the Daily Wire who's like obsessed with what men are and what women are. And he has this whole like gender affirming set where he's like, we sit in leather chairs and smoke cigars, and that's how you know I'm a man, clearly. You know? It's like that's the safe reassurance people like that need. They need to see men doing men things. Like they need to watch short clips of Patrick Bet David walking in a suit in slow motion, being like, look at me, leather shoes, day's looking bright, or whatever the fuck he says, you know? And that guy needs to be like, I got to pay $1 million to go to his pyramid scheme thing in Vegas. I really need to go see a man like that. You know, it makes them feel safe and warm at night so they can fall asleep knowing, like, hey, at least there's real men out there that I could aspire to be like. Meanwhile, it's like I don't, I've had enough. Future looks bright. Oh, I bet it does. How's hey, talk to yourself from 2024. How's your future looking? How's your no more wars pro peace president? Where I'm gonna bring down energy prices by 50%. How's your future looking? It ain't looking bright because the lights are on. I'll tell you that much. And I meant like in your head. The lights ain't on in your head. Never mind in your house. We know you have to save electricity, but come on, stupid. Act accordingly. Disturbed radical. That's a lie. I never said a slur in this channel. And the loser mods come after me all the time. Hey, don't call them losers. Disturbed radical is a good one, guys. This is what I'm saying. Back up. Back up. Back up, mods. Don't be heavy-handed. It's good to see Disturbed Radical back. Yeah, listen, Disturbed Radical, just so you know, um, just so you know, I've been every day telling the mods, like, hey, don't go heavy-handed. You know, unless it's a slur. And I mean, clearly, you know, like, don't try, because we can't pick up on sarcasm in the chat. And it's really hard to tell when, you know, there is sarcasm. And I really appreciate I got a thing for sarcasm. I really, really, truly, truly enjoy it. Um, and sometimes it's hard to read, you know? So I just want to make sure that the mods. Plus, it's kind of fun sometimes. I gotta admit, when somebody comes in and is like, I'm on a team of men are men and women are women. I'm like, oh, you're on Caitlyn Jenner's team? Interesting. You know, Caitlyn Jenner, that big MAGA lady, right? Or what do you want to call her? Do you still call her a man? Do you dead name her and call her Bruce? You know, it's hilarious. Like, these people don't understand that they're being grifted. They sold you that culture war line to get in power. Just ask Caitlyn. She was fucking all huffy puffy the other day because she got her she got her passport or something back, and they were like, yeah, fuck you, Caitlyn. I think that's a short summary of what happened to her. I don't know. But I got some more audio that I didn't. Maybe don't call the mods losers. Hey, I told them back off. I told them. I think he's very upset. Let's all have some compassion. Because this is the other thing that I've really started to see. We need to align more with each other, and we got to try to meet some of these people where they are. And I'm talking about people who don't have the vision of like universal health care, a $66 minimum wage, 3-day work week, all benefits for the working class, and let's start making these elites, you know, pay their fair share, which is no more billionaires. But we need to really expand our efforts to broadly organize more minds. Uh, and then when I say well, meet people where they're at, like that dude who was like, I'm on this team. Like, you got to meet them where they're at, you know? They're in stupid land. They're in imaginary land where they're still fighting this culture war that really doesn't. There's a few real wars going on. You should check into those. But the culture wars, you know, not a thing. I'd be happy if we just arrest the Epstein class, right? They're subpoenaing Hassan Piker and not most of the Epstein associates. Like, that is just, that's weaponization of the government, you know? Jessica, I've been using it wrong. I used it to fill in the tone of everything's on fire and this is fine. I'm missing some. They're what's causing your channel not to grow. It hurts your algorithm when they constantly mute or silence people, hurting your channel to satisfy their echo chamber needs. Well, it's not an echo chamber. And I understand that being muted or silenced will make you feel like that. But it is a place where, and this is why I've changed it to just, if they drop a slur, get them the, you know, yesterday some dude did, it's still wild to me. Like, if people think racism is dead, like, just go into the section. You know, go to any live stream comment. There's going to be someone dropping a racial slur at any time, you know, and that's the stuff that I can't tolerate, or the homophobic stuff, or the like grossly misogynistic stuff. But other than that, you know, um, let people chat at. Cause like there's people who come in here on the regular. What's this dude's name? Father who bangs his son, whatever his name is. He's always in here and just regurgitating the same Ben Shapiro talking points, you know? And it's like, dude, Ben Shapiro's from fucking 15 years ago, bro. You guys gotta get some new, you know, you gotta come up with something clever. That's why do you think Donald Trump went from like, you know, being pro-trans to then you know, kind of buying into the culture war because he knew it would buy these feeble-minded little boys, to they're eating the dogs and cats. Like he had to ratchet that shit up. He couldn't get away with being like, Joe Biden, what's a woman? You know, people would have been like, all right, but we already know that. We already know that they're the woke who don't know what a woman is. Like he had to be like, these motherfuckers are eating your pets. You know, and then people were like, that's it, that's the new shit, man. Yeah, but what about this super anecdotal evidence from my friend's cousin's friends about how they haven't heard the N word in months? Clearly, racism is dead. See, half fiction. I love sarcasm. Yeah. What about this super anecdotal stuff like, hey, man, we fought the Civil War? Oh, yeah, what was Juneteenth about? As well as the tardo being a slur. I occasionally use that word, specifically when I'm talking about this one, but I think it's only a diagnosis, you know? I'm not even trying to be mean. I think at this point he's proven beyond a reasonable doubt, you know? It's so weird that the people are, you know, they are faithful. They are faithful for the cause, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming, whoops, coming in here. Hold on. Uh, I need to find because I got to play some clips for you. This is hilarious. I've been calling the Trump regime a regime since they got into power. But to hear it on Fox News, I feel like a cartoon. I should go, you know, or this is Fox News. Listen to what this dude says.
The alternative of Iran with a nuclear weapon that could threaten America or its kids, which was very likely to happen under President Trump's regime.
What? Sorry.
Which was very likely to happen under President Trump's regime, his administration, if we hadn't taken action. I think is an unacceptable alternative for it.
I would have said cut, take two. Wait, are they live? Okay, let's see. Are they live? Maybe they were live. If this is recorded, I would have been like, "Hey, man, we're throwing that in the can. Why don't we do another one? We'll do another one. Now we'll leak that one if anything happens to you."
Of Iran with a nuclear weapon that could threaten America or its kids, which was very likely to happen under President Trump's regime.
His what? His regime? Ooh, Fox News calling it a regime. That's that wasn't on my bingo card. Remember when you used to say that? Remember when the kids used to be like, "That's not on my bingo card." I don't think we can have bingo cards in this economy, right? Smoking, right? Smoking blondie. I don't think in this economy we even have bingo cards. We're just like, ah, I didn't see that one coming. All right, move along, act accordingly. Um, that's wild. The Trump regime.
Likely to happen under President Trump's regime.
And by the way, when all these talking Muppets, no, I don't want to disgrace the Muppets. When all these puppets with Donald Trump's hand up their ass come on here and talk about this, like, hey man, nuclear weapons. Hey man, what about Russia, China? Um, you know, people that really have weapons. Russia's in a war right now, and as last I knew, didn't everybody hate Russia? I don't know. I can't follow this shit. I thought everyone used to be like, why don't you go to Russia? You don't like it here, move to Russia. What do you want this to be, Russia? You know? Wouldn't we be more concerned with them, or is it because Donald Trump, per our earlier conversation, can identify someone who can't who he thought couldn't fight back. Iran's proving differently, as they're whooping our ass in this and causing Americans to suffer because of Donald Trump's actions. But why isn't Donald doing this to anybody who has known weapons that we allegedly, you know, aren't allies with? It's a weird bullshit take. Here's another fun audio clip off of Fox News. You guys know this absolute turd. He looks like a Rice Krispie dude with what's his name? Snap Crackle Pop. He looks like one of the Snap Crackle and Pop dudes, but if they had a big pimple forehead. I don't like him. And he's just a puppet for Donald Trump. Listen to what he has to say about us, the hardworking Americans.
When I look at credit card data and other things that I can get for the private sector, is that while people have been spending more money at gas stations, they've been spending more money at everything else, which means that they're still very, very optimistic.
Wrong. Consumer sentiment is actually at an all-time low. You can look that up. I don't know if they have the internet at the White House or, the government has any internet access, but it seems like they just come on here and say some shit. And anybody with any common sense would say, yeah, do you know why we're spending more money? Because we have to fucking eat and exist. We're not choosing to, it's just everything costs more. This is the wildest commentary ever.
And the thing that I've seen when I look at credit card data and other things that I can get for the private sector is that while people have been spending more money at gas stations, they've been spending more money at everything else, which means that they're still very, very optimistic about the state of the economy, and they should be. If you look at GDP now, right now, it's north of 4%. And so, despite this disruption, all the momentum that we built with the big beautiful bill,
The momentum with we built. Yeah, people right now, you can really read a lot of articles and look at a lot of polling and stats and the upper echelon of academia, and they're all saying like, yeah, man, the people are doing good. They want to spend a little more right now. This is crazy. And he's talking about on the heels of like credit cards. Credit cards companies they are a criminal cartel, but the debt's never been higher. I just saw an ad the other day where it was for some credit card and they said you can buy ramen with it. And I was like, what planet are we on where they're saying get a credit card to buy ramen noodles? I'm like, bro, this ain't good. This is not good. No one should be buying ramen noodles on a credit card. This is insane. And this guy's like, hey man, people are paying a little bit more for this, spending a little more money. I think that's, everything's looking up. Like, dude, I saw a credit card ad where they said, hey, you could even use it for ramen. And I was like, nah, that's not a suggestion. You're telling them, hey, you can't afford your food. Just get a credit card and you could get that ramen. It wasn't even like you could go to a nice dinner. This credit card, I can't explain to you how crazy this was. This credit card commercial was not, you could go out to dinner. You could fucking, spend $200 filling up your tank once. It was like you could get $1.50 ramen, which ramen should be much cheaper. Anyways, it should be like 30 cents. But yo, I want to see if I can find it. Hold on. Credit card ad. How to buy ramen. Let me see if I can find it. Chase Freedom Unlimited commercial. Yes. Oh my God. Please be it. I want to. No. Chase Freedom. Hold on. Chase Freedom. Come on. Why can't I just look it up? Really? I'm fucking crazy. Not small victories ordering dinner. I want to see the commercial that I saw. It was very cartoony. Anyways, if you can try to find it, the small victories campaign. This is so dystopian. This is so insane. Yeah. It's not the one from March 25th, 2026. There's one with couples. It's not that. It is not that. It is a uh cartoon ad where the credit card, it's all cartoon, there's no real people. And they're like, spend a little on yourself. Get the little things. Buy some ramen. Get our credit card. And then pay a 27% interest rate on that $1.50. You know, they're like, hey man, you just think about the interest and if you can pay it later. You spoil yourself. You get that ramen right now. You hear? We at Chase really care about humans. And there's some peasants in the chat that'll absolutely be like, "Yeah, I think they do, man. I think that's why I go with Chase." You know? Hold on. Do I not have a picture of this dude? I might not have a picture of this next coward. So I'm gonna play this for you because I hope you've seen the clip. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent wants to give you some advice, some tax advice. I wouldn't take tax advice from this criminal, but if you want to, God bless you.
I want to encourage everyone out there watching today to change their withholding if they haven't already done so. Because if you change your withholding, then you will get an automatic real wage increase, be on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you will be able to keep more of your money this calendar year.
Listen, that is so wild for somebody to broadly say, because if you don't know what's going, and again, this is like another system we need completely changed the way taxes are done in America. This should not be how, like, we should not be accountable for what the government thinks we should owe. Like, they should have more of a, they should play a role. Like, what are we paying them for? You know, well, I guess for Donald Trump's slush fund, but um this is so crazy because if you fuck this up, if you do that and you get more money, but it turns out like, nah, you shouldn't have gotten all that money. Next year, after the midterms, I think this is Scott Bessent doing Trump's dirty work, being like, hey, put some people in some financial pressures, you know, worse than they already are, and do it to their taxes. So that way, after the midterms, if we lose the midterms, if the midterms even happen, when tax time comes, we can turn around and say, look at the Democrats, man, they fucked up our tax thing, and that's why you owe. And people are stupid. And hey, listen, if you're stupid enough to hear a guy go on Fox News being like, hey, just change your withholding. Yeah, hey, you get more money, dude. What could, hey, more money right now, right? Life's hard. You don't want to get a credit card to buy ramen, do you? No. Just change your tax thing. I'm sure it'll be all good. You know, like absolutely no one should be listening to this man. No one. He has a blatant disregard for your good well-being. But if you're dumb enough to listen to it, you're going to be dumb enough to next April think this was the Democrats' fault. You know, if you fall for that, you'll fall for a 50-year mortgage. And I tell you, you fall for an 80-year mortgage. We'll give you a 100-year mortgage. It's adorable. You think you own a home. Up to 300% price cuts in some cases. Price cuts for what? I'm missing some of it. Dilute gas and see if the engine runs. Same for the economic engine. Diluting the liquidity that the economic engine runs on causes seizure. Dude, I just seen a whole video, which I didn't know if it was true, but what is it? The polymethylene that they put in gas? I forget what the chemical is. They put in gas to make it lighter that corrodes your engine. That they were putting more of it in gas right now to try and lower the cost. So like, what is it? If you get like, unleaded 85 or whatever, you're getting 85% gas, right? And then other 15% is this chemical that's just lighter, is better for the environment, but it's also so you're not getting 100% gas, so you don't have to pay more. And I was watching this video where someone was like, "Oh yeah, they're putting more in it." Um, which if you don't know, it's going to make your engine seize. It's corroding the inside of your engine. But they're doing that so they could try to drop a penny at the pump. And I thought, yo, this is the most dystopian reality. Ethanol. Thank you. That's what it is, Salty Slay. Ethanol. I couldn't remember. I seen it a few days ago. And I was like, I know they're doing it. I don't have the patience right now. No Diddy tells everyone you have nothing of value to add to a conversation. Or you might be a Roblox kid, you know? Where's I didn't see the no Diddy. Waffle, what's up, Waffle? Jack interrupted, so I had to go over things again. I don't think he's used to getting pushback. No Diddy. Oh, Waffle said no Diddy. Yeah, Waffle's a young head. Listen, Waffle is one of the ones that was a full-on MAGA, and now he's MAGA light. Or I don't know what he is, but I just know he stayed here long enough that he's starting to see things differently. And that's what we want, you know. I don't claim to be able to be like a cult wrangler, you know. I don't think I can get people out of a cult, but they can't unhear the things I say. That's the vital information that I'm trying to relay. That once I expose the frog to you, you have to go into blatant denial, or it has to haunt you in the back of your head for the rest of your days, you know? And you have to live like that, so. Limiting, you can't tell me how to use Quilloculus. I don't know what that word is, man. Um, but Waffle's been good shit. We're meeting him where he's at. And I was gonna say, he's gotta be young, you know. The youth like to say no Diddy. And I think it's kind of endearing. I think the youth saying no Diddy is kind of like, you know, it's the language, it's a reflection of the culture they grew up in, and it's the language they've adapted to use, and we all have it, you know. I'm trying to think what was um you know, like when I was growing up, you say phone home, or shnikes, or trying to think all the were there were there very big cultural there were big cultural things that we would adapt language from, you know, that we got new words. It was a conversation, not a debate. Cranky mullet, what's up? Why do people assume that being gay makes someone less than everyone else? I don't know. That's another thing. Yeah, okay, so Toaster. So glad to see a proud gay man out of the closet. I'm not, but if I was, is that like, or maybe your Toaster's chatting from the 1950s, you know? And he's like, "Hey man, you're giving me inspiration. Here where I come from, we're not allowed to be out and about like that." You know, is that what it is, Toaster? Because that comment, I don't get it. So glad to see a proud gay man out of the closet. Are you glad because like you need somebody to show you what it's like to come out? Because I could probably get one of my gay friends to tell you their story, you know, if you need some confidence building measures. Is that what it is? I don't get it, but thanks for the chat. Waffle, don't go attacking Blondie, man. Come on. What do you mean, who pays for your Wi-Fi? What the fuck? Jack didn't even know Biden was mentioned in the files, Blonde. Biden isn't mentioned in the files. Anyways, guys, stop. Taxes aren't inherently socialist. What is Waffle? Have you been watching like Tim Pool a lot or something? I don't know what's yeah. Waffle used to come in here more and you know, it was a little more coherent. Because I don't know why he would say taxes aren't inherently socialist. That just makes me think you don't understand what the definition of socialism is. But it's okay. I don't know how you do it. What I was going to say is, guys, in the comment section, let's stop focusing on each other and you can start focusing all your anger on me. Okay? I can endure. I can endure. Okay? Let's see. Maybe I could say some stuff to trigger these people. Here, I'll do it. Okay, let me win back the crowd. And when I say win back the crowd, I mean let me get their focus off of the good comrades in the chat, and let them get let them get their anger out on me. I get it, guys. The world is a tough place right now. It sucks. You know, you got endless wars happening. Your healthcare is getting taken away. You're probably losing your lunch break at work from some sneaky Donald Trump trick. He's siphoning off all of your tax money. He's not releasing the Epstein files, and he's protecting all his criminal friends and giving himself immunity from being audited forever. Meanwhile, they're just devastating the interior of the country by raising grocery prices over 40% over the last 2 months. Gas prices are phenomenally high. And not to mention all the fucking tariff money that you were promised to get back is going to corporations. So I get it. The Doge checks aren't coming. You know, there's a ton of stuff going on, and it's hard for people to like figure out who to be mad at. And I'm here to let you know it is the Epstein elites. It is the corporate oligarchy. It is the next person that I will show you. These are the people to be mad at. If you just got laid off because AI needs an investment, and the company's doing fine, but they just want to get rid of the humans because we got to invest in AI and put a data center in your backyard so we could turn your water brown and steal all your electricity. I get it. The world is a confusing place. Let me just be a friend in this, you know? And by friend, I mean like just take your anger out on me. Leave the fucking people alone in the chat. Just come after me. I'm fine with that. You can't fucking hurt me. And I don't care anyways. You know what I mean? Like say all the mean that no slurs. Do not be mean to the oppressed. I'm a fucking white male. I can take it. Do not be mean to the oppressed, but just aim your anger at me. It's fine. Rob, I kind of became the lightning rod of the farthers and Blondie argument. All I said is they should have class solidarity. Oh, see, there's Waffle talking again. So this is where you got to be careful because it just becomes, what does it become? It becomes a pig pile that no one can discern who's actually arguing and who's not. But that's again why I kind of say like some of these people we shouldn't be arguing with. Like Fatherson is just here to, you know, Fatherson's just here to regurgitate, 2016 Ben Shapiro clipped points. That's it, you know. He was like a big Ben Shapiro fan in 2016. He was like, this guy's onto something. You know, he's like, I got to get all the Daily Wire subscriptions. I'll pay for all 13 movies they put out. You know, I'll have 8 subscriptions and fucking everything they do, I will pay. I'll watch that Bluey knockoff. And he thinks it's still working 10 years later. That's why I'd say, like, just call him adorable. That's what I would do if I was in the chat. I'd be like, Fatherson, you are adorable. You are adorable. You're probably fatherless, but you're adorable. You're an adorable little guy, you know? And that's it. Can I attack the a-holes in the comments? No, attack me. Ignore them. Add to the dialogue here. Rob, we don't agree politically, but you're good people, my guy. Oh, yeah? We don't agree politically yet. Yet. Just wait. Donald Trump's knocking on your door. Just wait. You know, everybody who thinks we don't agree politically, just wait till it happens. Just wait until this comes around. Nobody's safe when a tyrant's in control. You may think you're the protected class. You may think you're the protected race. But like that MAGA Moms article I was reading, where, hold on, let me just cite some of the stuff, which is absolutely fucking hilarious. The Maha moms are worried about artificial intelligence, what it's doing to their kids' mental health, while Donald Trump is fucking blocking efforts with an executive order that seeks to undermine state control of AI regulation and insisting on AI adoption by schools. You heard Linda McMahon go into the schools and be like, or was it Melania? I forget. They're all interchangeable twats. But you heard them. They were like, hey man, all the kids should have AI teachers. I think that would cut costs, and then we wouldn't have to hear these teachers be like, I can't afford to live. Um, Perhaps the most striking evidence of Trump's disdain for the moms who helped make him president is his recent toward turn increasing production of glyphosate used to kill weeds and against Maha moms who trusted him to ban it. Trump's executive order protected the corporate baddies that Maha moms blame for poisoning the nation's food chain. Like the reason I laugh at that is because like these women were diehard cultists to get him in charge because they believed, hey, we are the protected chosen few. He loves us. And he's like, oh, you know that chemical that you think is killing your kids and giving them cancer and has been proven in court cases to give people cancer? I'm just going to protect the companies. So they're allowed to do whatever and you can't have any kind of recourse because I'm the government now. So I bring up these articles because there's sometimes people are like, oh no, man, we don't agree politically. I think people shouldn't have health care and I think Donald Trump's doing just fine. And I'm like, just wait until he starts fucking you like he did them kids. You know? Okay, hold on. We gotta get to some more audio. Oh, Donald Trump's going to the doctors. Big day for Donnie. Stephenson, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Hold on. I'm starting to think that the Epstein files are just a distraction from how terrible of a job Trump is doing as president. Listen, I can't agree with you only because if he leaked, here's the thing. If Trump dropped, let's say, like, another 100, he could just drop another one sheet of the Epstein files. If he put out even just one, never mind 100, sorry. I know there's like 3 million still hidden in 40 gigs of videos and photos and stuff. If one Epstein file was released tomorrow, all of this news would hit the back burner. No one would talk about the war. No one would talk about anything. Hold on one second. I gotta find. Oh, this was the audio. I don't know if you've heard. I don't know what you think about AI. I think it has potential uses, but I think they shouldn't be cramming data surveillance centers everywhere. But I want to play this clip for you. Oh, Basin, I hate Obamacare. Just so you know, Obamacare, you know the guys who brought you Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation? The Affordable Care Act, which is officially known as, which you might know as Obamacare, was a right-wing Republican healthcare option instead of going with a single payer, a kind of universal healthcare. You pay into taxes, you get healthcare. Instead of that, the Heritage Foundation, who designed Project 2025 and everything we're experiencing right now, that right-wing think tank was the one that created this Obamacare. And before it was called Obamacare, it was called Romney Care, as in Mitt Romney from my state of Massachusetts, who implemented that here. And really, the only greatness about it was that if you had a kid and they were born with a pre existing condition, that insurance company couldn't say, fuck you. That's it. That was the special thing that now, hey man, you know how you grew up with that whatever that's been plaguing you since birth? These insurance companies can't tell you you don't get health care because you were born like that, because you were born this way. That was like the biggest selling point. That was it. Hold on, I gotta let this cat in. Hold on. So I don't. I'm a universal healthcare guy. I don't settle for anything less. Healthcare is a human right. Ah, Jesus. Not me, host. Got the wrong guy. Okay. To what? Yep, agreed. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you get it. I'm glad you get it. My Romney plan. Yeah, just call it Romney Care. Healthcare should be free for everybody. And the way we do it for free, for all the people that are gonna clap back and go, you just want free stuff. We tax billionaires. It's a simple solution. They have billions. They can't spend it. And we tax them. We tax them like we did back in the 60s. You know, the good old days Donald Trump used to talk about? Hold on. Here is, what's his name? Sam Altman, not a very smart boy. Please, kitty. Here's Sam Altman talking about AI. This dude is not he gives some weird vibes. And if you've read anything about the allegations against him from his sister, not cool. And then if you've seen him in action in any interviews where they show him his AI, I think I played this clip for you. They were showing him his AI where this kid will take his AI and try to utilize it for many different things. And the kid goes to run a mile, and he's like, "Hey, AI, time me. I'm gonna run a mile." And he waits like 30 seconds, and the kid's like, "All right, I'm done. How long was it?" And the AI goes, "Okay, that was a 10-minute, 27-second mile." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And they played that for this dude, Sam Altman, the head of one of these AI space races. And Sam goes, "Oh, that's because we don't have a timer in the AI yet." Really? AI can't time anything, but it says it can? Don't you think that should be like a feature in case you're trying to time something more important than you running a mile? It's so crazy that these guys are selling this as like the salvation to humanity's worries. And they're like, "Yeah, but it can't like time your mile yet." Dude, we got to program that. It doesn't. I'm like, isn't that like the first fucking thing you get? Like the first phones had a clock and a timer. Like, dude, what are they operating on Microsoft fucking Windows 1? What is this, CDOS? Dude, how does your AI not have a time? Anyways, here's Sam Altman.
Fundamentally, our business, and I think the business of every other model provider, is going to look like selling tokens. They may come from bigger or smaller models, which make
This is so dystopian, by the way, too. They're like, "Oh, you won't need money. It will just be tokens. Just be tokens based on this loose theory that the tokens will be worth something. You should get rid of your money." That's a very corporate disguise of like, we want to control it. So if we want to shut your tokens off because maybe you said a bad thing about us, then what are you gonna do? This is terrifying.
makes them more or less expensive. They may use more or less reasoning, which also makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Don't freeze on.
Work super hard.
Oh, I don't know why it will glitch at like one point. Hold on. Loading, 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 loading. Come on.
Run only when you need them. A work super hard.
What the fuck? It's just stopping at that one point? I've already listened to this whole thing. Come on, man.
I think the business of every other model provider is going to look like selling tokens. They may come from bigger or smaller models, which makes them more or less expensive. They may use more or less reasoning, which also makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard.
Oh, come on, man. I want to get to the good stuff. I'm just going to let it load. What do you guys want to talk about? In 1960, there were between 4 and 11 billion in the US. Yeah, billionaires are a new thing. Are a new thing. Leaded paint. Fatherson was eating leaded paint chips when he was a kid? It was dangerous growing up in the 70s, man. We have 813 billionaires in the US. Yeah, and I think there's 3,000. There's 3,000 worldwide. Thank you, Blondie, for that, because I have a fun little meme for everybody. I have a fun meme. If you can read, God bless you. If you can't, I don't know. Come on, man. I want to fucking play this clip. Why is this clip not doing this? I want you to hear from the billionaires what they think of utilities. I was listening, Rob. It's been a minute since I caught your stream. I know, that's what I was saying. It's been a minute. It's good to see you back. It sucks.
It seems like it's gonna continue to just go like this. And if we don't have enough, we either can't sell it, or the price gets really high and it, kind of goes to rich people, or society makes a bunch of sort of central planning decisions that I think almost always go badly about, we're going to use our limited compute supply for this and not that electricity, or
Oh, here.
see a future where intelligence is a utility, like
Intelligence is a utility, like.
or
And how's that going for everybody? The water and electric right now. How's it? He's saying like, hey man, you know how right now you have access to AI, and you have access to the internet, you have access to this technology. Well, I see that intelligence as a utility, just like water or electric. This is terrifying that the people who are, in the government have filled the government's pockets also believe these things, because once you understand how electric and water are going, you start to realize like, oh shit, they're just going to gatekeep us from this. They're going to price us out and then develop a system where we can't live without it. They're going to develop it into not just a utility, but a necessity. Hence why he said, I think we're going to need to use coins, because they're going to lock you out of it unless you have some kind of access to the system. You'll need the coins to access the system. The system operates, whatever it is, your work life, your fucking toll roads, your utility bills. Like, they're going to try to interweave that, so you have to be in their system, so they have full control on you. And him calling it a utility like water or electric is terrifying, especially because here in America, nobody's entitled to have the lights on or to have life-sustaining water. Nobody. That's not a right, to have your life-sustaining water. In fact, it's more of a right for the data centers to pollute it.
people buy it from us on a meter. And
They're gonna meter your house for AI. Yo, are you guys excited to have the AI? I hope they send robots to make the meters. That's all I can really hope, that instead of like the meter man comes out to check your electric, it's some robot dog that kicks in the door and he has a fully automatic weapon on his back and he's like, I gotta read your meter. Everybody down. No weird movements. And you're like, oh God, why do all the robot dogs have this guy's face on them? Why did he have to do that? You're scaring the kids.
and use it for whatever they want to use it for.
Whatever they want to use it for. What about to destroy the system you created?
The demand that we see for that seems like it's gonna continue to just
Why do none of these guys have personality? That's the other thing. Like, if this was a fucking TED Talk, I would have already I would have clicked off of this so quick. But because he's saying these harrowing things, you gotta kind of listen. Okay, Donald Trump's going to the doctors. Donnie's big day at the doctors. Let's see how Donnie's big day at the doctors is going.
During this examination, incredible explanation for his visible health concerns. His bruising, which initially was described as due to vigorous handshaking, which is not credible. His severe
What's up, Benny Loco? I have mods because if somebody's saying slurs or being racist, misogynist, homophobic, we get rid of them. Benny Loco, I implore you, if you lend any credence to people like Fatherson, may God help you. May God help you. And I wouldn't even, guys, I want you to try this. Don't engage him. Let him keep flinging poo, Remember, if he's throwing poo, he's got poop all over his hands. That's not a guy I want to hang out with. But let him keep doing it. Who cares? Um, because mods are here for like, serious infractions. Not for some dude who's proving how pathetic he is by like just screaming, like, please pay attention to me. Guys, pay attention to me. He's some fucking Eastern he's, he's some Eastern Russian dude who's hiding out from being drafted into this fucking war And he knows that if he goes to that Ashley St. James or whatever website where Republicans pay you to say certain things, he'll get some ruples so he can get his fucking cabbage soup for the day. You know, so he's just trying to make a buck, man. Respect the game. Subscribers don't fling poo, just ideas. Hey man, everybody does. But what I'm saying is like the amount of poo that dude's flinging, man, his hands are filthy. Tech guys all share the same personality, kind of like orange cats, all share the same brain cell. All share the same one brain cell. Yeah, I've heard that about orange cats. Orange cats are all kind of orange catty. Um, oh my cat. I just let her go because it was like I can't deal with it. The hair everywhere, I just makes me sneeze. It's too much. Donnie Cankles. Old Don Horleone. Um, okay, let's go back to this doctor talking about Donald Trump. I don't know, man. If you had, you know, fat ankles like that, where's the other picture? Fat ankles like that. If you had brute, like, you need to see a doctor. I'm guessing they had just have a doctor on call for him. You know, I don't know what. Oh, you know what I was thinking the other day? I was like, this is gonna end up like a Michael Jackson thing. Remember Michael Jackson had that doctor on call because he was like, I just can't sleep. Hee hee, I can't go to sleep. Remember? And he was doing the This Is It movie filming. And he was like doing these crazy practices and just, you know, going hardcore all the time. I was like, yo, you can't be walking around like that at 80 years old and not have a doctor real close by. You can't. I gotta imagine, you know, I don't know what they're pumping him full of. You know, younger men's lifeblood, Joe Rogan's colostrum. I don't know what they're pumping this man full of, but they gotta be doing something. And then I thought, man, this is gonna end. This is gonna be like the white Michael Jackson. I'm sorry, I'm just giving you my inside thoughts. I think Michael Jackson did a lot for music and the culture, and he shined a lot of lights. But take that how you want. It was just my interior dialogue where I was like, this is gonna be like the white Michael Jackson, and some doctor's gonna go to jail for being like, what? He was forcing me. He couldn't stay awake at all these meetings. RFK Jr., Dr. Oz are so boring. And I was like, that's how it's gonna happen, man. The doctor is going to try to keep this guy alive for too long, and it's just gonna go sour. And then I'm gonna have to come on here and be like, well, it's the white Michael Jackson, isn't it? They're going after the doctor. They're gonna say he could have totally survived. I'm sorry. You had a Dalmatian for 17 years? Wow, the Dalmatian lived for a long time, man. I'll criticize the current administration push for AI and data centers. I'm no fan of Skynet, but I prefer a push from a Western power than a push from China. I think I'm on a delay. You are on a delay. Yeah, there's a delay here. There's a delay here. He's not going to make it through August for anybody betting on Polymarket. Oh, God, I hate that America's just like first we had the Wall Street gambling, you know, like everybody put their big money into Wall Street. That was like how you could be like, oh, I'm an investor. No, you're just a gambler, or you're an insider gambler, you know. And now it's like Polymarket, just like we're like, fuck it. I guess you don't have to have a lot of money and bet on a company. Now we can just bet on all this random shit. Like, is it gonna rain tomorrow? You know, like bread and circuses, man. Bread and circuses. We'll listen to a little more of the doctor in a second, but I was really looking into bread and circuses because I'm just so fascinated. Let me show you this picture. I think the administration knows he's dumb, and that's why they're not doing anything. Who? Who's dumb? Trump? Hold on. Here's this picture of, oh God, did you see this? Pete Hegseth tweeting, what is that, Apache helicopter going over some racetrack? I'm like, bro, this is, you're showing us, like, this is the definition of bread and circuses, definition of like read the room, bro. People are suffering for gas prices for their car, and you're like, yo, check this out. We're flying helicopters over the car. Like, this is so insane. This is batshit crazy. Batshit crazy that people would cheer this on and then go to the pump and be like, harumph. You know, this is so tone deaf. This is so just callous to their supporting fan base, to their cult, because I just really want you to think about this picture again. This picture from Pete Hegseth. While people are like, gas is too expensive, he's like, look at all the gas we're doing for extracurricular shit. None of this is necessary, but just look at all, like, we can fill up helicopters, a few of them. Look at all those cars burning that gas to go in a circle. Oh, what was that? You're having a hard time getting to work filling your tank? What was that? Oh, check this out, dude. Like, this is the epitome of bread and circuses. So I was like, I've always heard that. This is the UFC event being built at the White House. This just, I know there's like the Colosseum in Rome, and they would have the people come to entertain them, to distract from the corruption and the stuff going on. But this is like so on the nose. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they call it the Colosseum. You can only hope when this stage is erected and they do not call it anything. They don't call it the Octagon. Please don't. Please call it the Colosseum. Just do it so on the nose. And call it a night of bread and circuses. Because this is so extravagant. And I doubt Dana White's paying for this. I'm sure Donald Trump is like, hey, don't, Dana, I got this. I got access to these people's tax money. We could do whatever we want. What's your heart's desire, Dana White? Like, these guys don't have all the money anyways. Like, they don't have all the money anyways. They're like, what's something you always wished you could do? No. Imagine you have $1 trillion, you know? They're like, I know you're a billionaire and you could do anything, but just what's something your heart really wants to do? They're like, don't worry, I have access to all these tax people's money, and we'll just flip the bill, man. But bread and circuses, from the Latin panem et circenses. Yeah, I butchered that. It's a political metaphor describing the use of superficial appeasement, like free food and lavish entertainment, to distract the public from political corruption, economic inequality, and the erosion of civic duties. Whoa, Stephelson. Thank you for the $49.99 super chat. I'm very grateful. Thank you for fighting against MAGA ignorance, billionaire bootlicking, and pedo apologists, and helping combat the stupidity epidemic plaguing this country. And it is plaguing it. I mean, you would think that was a virus. You would think that was contagious. How stupid is contracted, you know? I feel like doing a PSA where it's like, have you or a friend listened to Joe Rogan? And then questioned whether a clearly satirical joke TikTok was real or not. You may have caught stupid. You may have caught stupid. And we can't help, but we sure will fight against it. Okay, so bread and circuses. The origins. Ancient Rome. I bring you back to 100 CE. What the? Are they doing the common era thing? I don't do that. 100 BC. I'm old. I do the BC. Anna Domini in the year of our Lord. I do the AD BC. BC AD. ACDC. I do that. The phrase was coined around 100 BC by the Roman satirist. I love satire. Juvenal. Oh, is that where Juvenile, the rapper, got his name? In his satires. No, it's in his satires. He lamented that the Roman populace had traded their once proud political influence and civic engagement for basic sustenance. Ugh. We don't even have basic sustenance. That's where, like, at least the Romans had basic sustenance. And mindless entertainment, gladiator combats and the chariot races at the Colosseum and Circus Maximus. Ooh, that's what they should call this, Circus Maximus. Roman emperors used this strategy to keep the restless masses fed, happy, and distracted, thereby preventing riots and maintaining political control. Yo, at least those Roman emperors kept their people fed. Never mind happy and distracted. I'll just go for feeding the people. Like that's, that's like a Jesus thing that I really believe in. Just, let's stop letting kids go hungry in this country. Anyways, modern applications. Today, the phrase is frequently used to critique governments, corporations, or media outlets that pacify populations rather than addressing systemic issues. It describes a society that focuses on the bread, subsidies, welfare, media comforts provided to the people just stable enough to not revolt. We don't even have that. And that was the interesting thing that I was thinking about. Like, we don't have a welfare state here. Europe has a bountiful welfare state. There's many countries that have bountiful welfare states where they at least, ensure that the people have the healthcare, the food, and the housing, and subsidies are provided in different facets for all of those things to ensure the welfare of their citizenry, right? Here we don't. The government stripped us of all that, and the way they maintain keeping us not stable, but keeping us busy enough not to revolt is tying our healthcare to a job, forcing prices up, and then this propaganda of like, hey man, people are doing really good, and if you just worked hard enough, you would be where we are, and all this shit. So we don't have that welfare state that the Roman had. We have it much worse, which is crazy. The circuses, mindless distractions, sensationalized news cycles, reality TV, professional sports, or social media drama that divert attention away from critical socio-political issues. Hey man, I know that data center just flooded your backyard and you have no recourse. I know you just got cancer from glyphosate and you can't sue the company because the government protected them. Well, why don't you watch these cool fights on TV and just forget about that shit for a while? That's what this is. That's why, again, mods, when you guys are in here, and again, thank you so much, Steffelson, for the support. I appreciate you, and I'm very grateful for you, Smoking Blondie, all the chatters that do support the channel. It means a lot to me. But that's also why, like, people that come in the comments and say like that 10-year-old what is a woman thing, or what else do they say? Just work harder, or you just want free stuff. Like, that's empty rhetoric. There's nothing to that, And if you've just lived in America for a couple of years, you'd see that there are people stretched way beyond their means, so thin and working so hard and still just barely surviving. And people are falling through the cracks all the time. So it's not even there's no argument, you know? They're either willfully ignorant or willfully blind. Or stupid. That's another option. They're either that or they're stupid, and they just have that propaganda brain, which happens. But if you can't see this for what it is, if you can't see this for literally what it is, the circus part of bread and circuses. Here in America, we don't even get the bread, They shame you. Oh, what do you want? Bread lines? You want socialism? There's already bread lines, man. What do you want? Everybody to lose their homes? Everybody's already losing their homes. We don't even get the bread part. We're just getting the fucking circus, and we're paying for it too. So, anyways, this bread and circuses was interesting. And then what was I reading about? Oh, hold on. So I went to the Wikipedia real quick. Bread and circuses, or bread and games from Latin. I'm not going to try to pronounce that again. Is a metonymic or metonymic phrase referring to superficial appeasement. Juvenal, the satires, that's who's attributed to. A Roman poet active in the late 1st century and 2nd century, and is used commonly in cultural, particularly political contexts. And It's meant to generate public approval, not by excellence in public service or public policy, but by diversion, distraction, or satisfying the most immediate or base requirements of the populace by offering a palliative, for example, food, bread, or entertainment services. It's used to decry the selfishness of common people and their neglect of wider concerns. And that word, metonymic, metonymic, I went, what is that? So I had to look that up. So I want to teach you a word today. We're going to do a little learning for all you brain dead magas. I'm sorry. What's up, Jess? Good to see you. Good to see you. So you guys ready to learn the word metonymy? Metonamy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Metonymy. 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 This is a cool word. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I love learning this word. Metonymic, the adjective form of metonymy, describes a figure of speech where a thing or concept is referred to by the name of something closely associated with it. So the common examples of metonymic phrases are: one, the White House refers to the president and their regime. Wall Street refers to U.S. financial stock and stock market industries. The Crown refers to the monarchy or royal family. Suits, I say that one, refers to business executives or corporate professionals. Like when I say C-suite, that just refers to the top tier corporate CEOs, the C-suite. So I never realized that I was using metonymic words. Replaces a word with something associated with it. Metaphoric replaces a word with something that shares a similar physical characteristic, saying her eyes were fire because they are bright and intense. So that's the lesson for today. That was a good lesson, right? I love that word. That's so cool. The Crown, Wall Street, White House, Suits, those are all metonymic words. And I dug that out of trying to read more about bread and circuses, the satires of Juvenile. Shit, man. I love this stuff. Oh, wait. The phrase originates from Rome in Satire X of the Roman satirical poet Juvenal, we already went over that, who saw bread and circuses as emblematic of the loss of republican political liberty. Here's from his book, Satire, chapter 10, pages, or whatever, 10, 77, 81. Already long ago, from when we sold our vote to no man, the people have abdicated our duties for the people who once upon a time handed out military command, high civil office, legions, everything, now restrains itself and anxiously hopes for just two things: bread and circuses. Whew. So basically, he's saying that these people have given up. Hold on. He used it to decry the selfishness of common people and their neglect of wider concerns. The phrase implies a population's erosion or ignorance of civic duty as a priority. That's what you see in the comments. That's what you're literally seeing what the dude from a billion years ago described in a satirical poem. That's why I wanted to show you that. Yeah, it's weird. But that's what I mean. Like when people tell you stuff like, these people are just da da da. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Well, 70% of Americans are struggling. They're using credit cards to buy ramen. They're doing buy now, pay later on food. And they're losing healthcare, and they're losing, services that were desperately needed. Meals on Wheels, like all these different things, right? Kids cancer research. Well, they're losing all that stuff. They have infinite funds to build the circuses of UFC fights to keep you entertained. We don't need entertainment right now. What we need is real socio-political fucking policies that benefit the people, that benefit us, not strip us so these AI tech oligarchs can have their way with their data centers and be free of any obligations to society, not protecting Monsanto or Bayer and allowing them to use more poison on the food and then protecting them from any lawsuits if like they've already been in one lawsuit of causing cancer to an American. Don't mind yourself with that. Just mind yourself with everything's good and don't worry, there's a big fight coming up at Circus Maximus. And that's why I tell you, because this is what's happened. This is what's happened in America. It's the selfishness of common people and their neglect of wider concerns. The population's erosion and ignorance of civic duty as a priority. I say this all the time. You can't say I'm an American patriot and then hate the Americans around you. You can't do that. You can't be like, I'm the most patriotic. I shoot the most fireworks off. I wear a tank top of red, white, and blue. I got a Speedo of red, white, and blue. And that's what makes me American. And those kids down the street, well, let them go into school debt. They should work harder. Like, that's not American. That's anti American. And I need people to understand this because the TV has propagandized you to just dress like Kid Rock and that makes you American. No, what makes you American is wanting the fucking people in your country to be the strongest, smartest, healthiest, fucking most successful in their generation. You want better for people. You don't not care because it's not you. And that's what most of these things say. You aware nobody focused on the crazy amount of protests during the Biden administration, but the second Trump is in, now we see them as bad. The media is a terrible hoax and a terrible use of the first. The media is not your friend. I tell you all those things all the time. The media is complicit in this. The journalists aren't asking the right questions. They're allowing this dangerous, dangerous propaganda and lies to go unchecked. It's really disheartening to watch that, especially because like the older boomer generations and some Gen X, they were raised in a time where the media had some kind of credibility. The Woodward and Hayes or whatever it was, the Watergate tapes, all these things where the media was actually holding power to standards and trying to hold power accountable. And now what you see is just the media just kind of being complicit so they can be kept in the room and not fired. And I mean, it's all for money. It's all for money. That's all I can say. It's all for money. And the people who are like, well, this is a nation, this is a God's nation. I'm like, you understand God didn't have any money? He didn't say heaven, you have to be the richest. You understand, like, the whole basing this country on money and calling people losers if they don't have money is kind of anti God. Anyways. I don't care which party you are. What happened to take our country back using the Second Amendment? Anything dirt. I like how you think. I like how you think. As long as you're talking against like the corporate elites and the Epstein elites and the people who are in the system, running the system, been running the system, and brought us to the culmination where we're here. In the year AD and at the mini in the year of our Lord 2026. You'll get a lot more truths here than the news. Yeah, and a lot more jokes. That's the other thing. Like I could joke with you about this shit, but I also wanted to point out because I keep seeing these pictures pop up, and I'm like, is that the ballroom? I was like, what the fuck? I thought they had to stop the ballroom, because they were like, oh, you can't use $100 million of tax money for that. What are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, shit, that's a UFC thing. This is kind of disgraceful. That close to the white, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, do you have permits for that? Do you have permits for that? This is kind of disgraceful. Just my taste isn't like set up a UFC fight right in front of the White House. That's cool. I'm like, dude, do it like in a festival area. There's gonna be people drunk and like pissing over here in the bush. You know what I mean? I'm like, maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just old, but I'm like, there's certain things where I'm like, dude, there's gonna be people throwing up You know what I want to see? I want to see a picture after this is fucking taken down. I want to see all the Doritos chips and the fucking $18 beer cups over there. You know, that's what I want to see. Because there's one thing Americans are still good at, and that's polluting. That's throwing their shit in the ground and feeling entitled enough that somebody's underpaid to pick that up for me. That's the one thing I can always rely on Americans to do, is throw their shit on the ground and not in a trash can. Hoodsy the owl or Hootie the owl or fucking Palooty the owl, whatever it is, he's rolling over in his grave right now. You know, give a hoot, don't pollute is on his gravestone, and you are just defecating on it, my man. Drunk people pissing in the reflecting pool, but it's not even Brian, but that's the thing. The reflecting pool is just spray painted right now. So there's gonna be people like, dude, let's go swimming, man. I gotta pee. And there's gonna be just a dude standing thinking he's peeing into something. He's like, it sounds weird, it sounds like it's our concrete. You know, I can't wait till the drunk morons try to dive into the reflecting pool because they don't pay attention to the news, and Fox News is like, the reflecting pool looks great. Look at that tint of blue, and they don't understand that there's no water in it and there's multiple head injuries. You know, it might make them smarter. I don't know. Darren, what's up? Farmers are bankrupt. Groceries are still through the roof. Unemployment higher in decades. Higher inflation. Higher deficit. Higher gas when Biden left. A war of choice. A pedo war of choice. Are you still winning? Are you still winning? Wow, when I read all that, I thought losing. Um, Drunk people pissing in the reflecting pool. Jay, you know that's happening. You know who's going to this MAGA event? Like, bro, this isn't people that are like this is people who are taking out that credit card I talked about, the credit card commercial for to buy a pack of ramen. That was the whole advertisement if you missed it. Those are the people. They're like, I got my ramen credit card. I put $5,000 on it to fly to DC and go see a, 8-minute fight. I'm getting fucked up. Those are the people that are going to this, and those are the people that are absolutely, and the irony of it too is like these are the people that will wear like a red, white, and blue fucking top hat. You know, they'll dress like Uncle Sam and go because they respect America so much. And then like an hour into the fight, they're gonna turn around and barf on the lawn and chuck their cup, probably start a fight, kick over a trash can leaving, do burnouts in the fucking parking lot. Like these are the people that like I respect America the most. And then they're like, no, they're beer me and chucking them all over the White House ground. So funny, man. Reflection pool, no bid contract. Not only a no bid contract, but I think the original cost was like 1 or 7 million, and then it just magically jumped to 13 million. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. Anything. I'm sorry, but your mods are terrible. People are arguing over the wrong problems. Everyone needs to focus on the fact that America has become a giant group of sissies instead of taking everybody out in politics. We focus on a bunch of different things. And once everyone is out, we restart, make it neutral as much as we can, fighting for the people, not the parties. Yeah, we got to get rid of this party politics thing. Socialism isn't a cashless, stateless, moneyless society or stateless. What is it? Stateless, moneyless, something society. Buddy, lawful. I know you're young, so listen, that's not what socialism is. Socialism is putting the fruit of the labor of the working class back into their hands. It's democratizing work. Socialism is a means to get to communism, which communism is ultimately the end goal of socialism. But you're thinking of communism when you describe socialism. So, but I encourage you to continue down this road. If you're scared of socialism, you're scared of yourself. You're scared of yourself having a democratized work, you having say over things instead of top down authoritarian rule at whatever place you work, because almost every place in America is a dictatorship when it comes to jobs. That's why all these tech bros act like dictators. They're like, well, this is what I dictate AI will be, and then they come on TV and they're like, oh man, oh hey man, it's gonna be so great. You're never gonna have to work. You could be rich. It's like, really? Because we're working for you right now. Nobody's rich, and you're telling us when you can implement the people to replace the robots to replace us, then shit gets good. I don't trust you. What's up, Tennessee Blacksmith? 2 months, comrade. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, by the way. The seizure of private property. This is what I mean, Waffle, bro. You got to do some reading. It's not seizure of private property from citizens, dummy. It's that these corporations don't get to own everything. Again, when I said the workers own the means of production, the workers own the means. That private property that those CEOs can 86 you from, that they can build data centers because they just had enough money and bought it all. I mean, you should look into, if you want to look into some kind of socialism, look into Cuba, man. So when the revolution happened, one of the first things was like the agrarian farm reform. And it was amazing because you know what they did? They redistributed the land. They guaranteed everybody land. But one of the stipulations in the agrarian farm reform that you can read about, you should read about this, is they said there's no more private corporations from overseas that can own land in Cuba. Why do you think America got really pissed? Because they said there's not going to be foreign ownership of our land. Our land is for our people. So these people with infinite money that can come in and pay any price and outbid everyone and pay in cash, we don't want that. We would rather have people live here. And you can look up the stats about it. You can look up all the interesting facts and what happened after and how people were guaranteed land. I mean, if you just believe in America, you should think that that sounds good. What does a corporation, what does a Bill Gates need with thousands of farm acres when there's homeless people everywhere? You know what I mean? Like that's the private property that you're addressing, that you did not dive deep enough to understand that it's not taking private property from citizens. That would be the antithesis of what even socialism means. Socialism is giving the means of production back to the workers. So at your dictatorship of work, where one guy or a cohort of very rich people decide this is the new policy and the policy is the law here and you need to abide by it. Hold on. Hopefully you can hear me. Hold on. Tell me if I go mute. Tell me if I go mute. But what it does, Waffle, is it makes the workers in control. The CEOs, hold on. Let me play this for you. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Let me show you this. Brian Nickel, who just started at Starbucks, got $100 million for 4 months of work for his first year. $100 million. He got paid more than Google, and he's a fucking CEO of a coffee company. And on top of that, he came from Chipotle. So he didn't even have coffee experience. He made 1,794 times the average worker. And that was last year. His first year there, he made 6,666 times the average worker. He wasn't working 6,000 times harder. Why? Because it's a big club and you're not in it. So what socialism does, it removes that structure. And all the people that are creating the wealth, because he can't work that hard. He's not working 1,700 times harder to earn that salary. In fact, you can read in Fortune magazine about his daily work life. And this is what I mean, like they're putting it in your face. You can read that whole interview. He's like, I get up, I meditate, then I go to the gym, then I take the private plane that the company gave me to fly somewhere. And then around 10, I have some lunch. And then maybe I have a meeting. Like, this is them telling you their workday. They're telling you, like, bro, hard work means like, I've done a few things. They're not working 1,700 times harder than the people that you get angry at that don't have your order ready. Okay. And what socialism does is wipes this away. So that millions of dollars isn't going to one person who has no interest in your community, no interest in your best fucking whatever. Your best fucking interest. I don't want to say interest again. Your best life. He doesn't care. He's siphoning all that money out of our communities and it's going to a stash It's going to fucking his bank account where it will not get respent into the economy because he has so much and he's only one person. And what socialism does is it takes that money, because we don't need this dude, and it puts the authority back to the workers. So the people that are creating the wealth, that are doing the job, would see more of the benefit, the fruits of their labor. So really, really, no, Waffle, you don't get to go. I'd love to believe that's how it starts. No, Waffle, what I'm telling you is you need to just don't. This is what I'm trying to share with you. I'm trying to give you a few insights to encourage your journey to learn more. And because once you start reading about these things that have not theoretically happened, but historically happened, these aren't like my best hopes. What I'm telling you is these are things that exist. But in America, you're not going to get fed this information. They want you to think socialism, communism, same thing, very bad. Don't ever look into it. And anybody tells you that, you should fucking look into it. You know, that's the number one clue for me where I'm like, hey man, if they're telling me no, I better read what this is about. So what I'm trying to do is encourage you. I gave you a couple things. The agrarian farm reform, I think that's what it's called in Cuba in fucking 50 something, 59, 61. Like you have the internet, bro. You can look this up. Look it up and see what happened after. You know, see how the people benefited. You could read the stats about it. You could read about Cuba becoming one of the most literate places in the world, more doctors to rate patients than America. You could read about all the things that they've eradicated, the cancer vaccine. You could read about how that wealth, that redistribution of land, they didn't socialism. It didn't take away anyone's private property. It gave people private property. It gave the peasants and the farmers private property that had been stolen from them by private corporations. And what it does is it doesn't allow private corporations with infinite funds to kick you off your land. And that's what's happening right now. This is what's happening in America in real time. These fucking BlackRock and Blackstone and Vanguard and all these fucking capital equity, what are they called? Hedge fund managers. They gain all the capital, access to the wealthiest people things. They go, hey, we'll buy these apartments, these apartments, these apartments, these apartments. We'll raise the prices, and then what are they gonna fucking do? We'll keep them empty. Go live in the streets. There are towns in Florida where BlackRock is buying the entire town and turning it into a renter town. Do you think that's better for America? That nobody can own a home and everybody just has to rent until the price goes up and the wages didn't keep up, so they have to move or maybe become homeless? Like what I'm telling you is this is happening in America now, and we have historical examples to look by. But you get so scared of what you believe it might be that you won't even look into it. And that's the most infuriating thing, that Americans are just willing to be willfully ignorant while the government cuts their fucking legs out up from underneath them. And I'm trying to give them the keys to unlock the fucking door to knowledge. I'm not saying you got to believe any of it. You could go, I don't believe any of these hundreds of studies on Cuba. I don't believe any of these facts. I don't care, but at least go see it for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, see for yourself. When people come in here and they're like, "Oh, there's no private property," I'm like, "God damn Americans, you stupid dumb bitches!" Like, you make me so mad because I'm like, just read what that means. Just read what that means. Read what it meant in historical context, in the truth of what has happened through history in socialism. Or if you don't believe me, just Google. If you just want to see one kind of example of what tiny socialism is Google, do unions make more than non-union employees? Just Google that, because unionizing is a form of socialism. They're trying to take democratic power from the corporation that wants to just dictate what you earn and how your work life goes. And when you form a union, you go, we'll withhold our labor unless you negotiate with us because we have certain demands to be met. And just Google. I already know it's double digits percentage more than what non-union people make. So union workers make much more than non-union workers. And why do you think that is? Because this shit works. But again, it's so infuriating to be in America and listen to these fucking Americans be like, socialism, everybody's gonna take your private property. Oh yeah, socialism, the thing that wants to have the workers own the means of production so corporations can't own it. The workers get to own where they work. It wants to just give them the place to work and take their home. Like on its face, that makes no sense. On its face, my guy. On its face, my guy. On its face. Like you're literally describing multiple different things and just calling it socialism. And this is why I encourage you on your learning journey to just go a little further. Maybe go a little further where you can argue with me. Because this is just exhausting where I'm like, I'm so sick of the fear mongering that Americans listen, if you're an American, you pride yourself on being like the land of the free and home of the brave, but you are the most cowardly, fucking spineless bastards I've ever met because words terrify you. I didn't know the word, what is it? Metanomic. I didn't know it. You guys hear me? You guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hold on. Waffle, none of that is true. You don't even know what socialism is. Yeah, that's the easy way to put what I was Lemon. I remember being idealist and life taught me better. Life didn't teach you better. Waffle, you don't get to fucking say that. Everybody calls me an idealist and I go, life didn't teach me any better. Life beat me the fuck down. And you know what I did? I looked back in history and said, how did other people that were oppressed survive this? And what I found out is like these people's revolutions, these socialism things that America has taught you to be cowards with words, gave me a great game plan, gave me a great lesson forward. So this is what I mean when because I've heard Waffle, you're not the first one to call me an idealist. I'm going, no, I'm just a realist. I'm the one who understands what it takes to get out from this fucking oppression. And if I got to hand you the keys to history and give you specific things to look up and specific citations of like, this is what happened in Cuba when they said there's no private property, which again is a contradiction to giving the workers the means of production, which is socialism. The whole thing in Cuba was they took the private property from the private corporations and they gave it to the people. They gave everybody, I forget what it was, like a certain amount of hectares. And they gave the poor peasant farmers who had no land, that were basically indentured servants to these fucking corporations that were just running sugar mills and fucking exporting all this stuff and extracting the wealth out of their country. And Che and Fidel said, fuck that noise, man. These people need the land that they were born on, that they're indigenous to. These people need this land. These private corporations, these American fucking parasites that come in here, no more. That's history. That's not idealism. That's learning history and being like, holy shit, so it can happen. And this has happened many other places. I'm just talking about Cuba because I'm very partial to it. But what I was saying is about, oh, what's up, Charlie Kelly? I'm in the Teamsters. I have rights as a worker. My employer can't just fire me. I have union counsel and a pension. Yo, God bless the Teamsters. I'll just tell you that. That is let me just nod my head in some respect because the Teamsters have fought the fucking way for I don't know how long, but just let me say, I have a deep respect for the Teamsters. As an organizer myself, I have a respect for what these and listen, my family are like union iron workers. You know what I mean? So like you don't get to talk shit about unions in these quarters. But anyway, Charlie Kelly, good to see you. It always brightens my day. Oh, Sardion's here. Sardion? And nobody, listen, guys, Waffle is a long time former MAGA, now diet Republican or Republican light. But we need to have these conversations. I need to meet him where he's at, and I need to just show him this. What he does from there, that ain't me. What he does from there, I can't do anything. But I can say that I tried. I can say that I helped him. But the one thing that really pisses me off Americans when they basically pride themselves on being the land of the free and the home of the brave, they're not. Most Americans are cowards. Not only did we find that out by all these Second Amendment cowards, where they were like, I need my 2A in case the government does a little overreach. And then we saw the government sending a private Epstein army known as ICE out into the streets, marking other Americans, and these fucking Proud Boys stayed silent. Never mind that cowardice. My cowardice is a bigger one, a one that you don't have to put yourself in harm's way, maybe emotionally or your ego. The cowardice I can't stand is when I no people have access to the internet. Again, this is why like I'm all for socialism and communism and fucking putting nationalizing the internet so everybody just is entitled to the internet at a very low cost. Um, because I want people to have access to this stuff and not just go to like foxnewsclips.com or whatever. I don't know what you're going to. Tim Pool farts and fucking, you know, on mic, watch again, funny meme sound, you know, after like, I don't know what you guys are watching, but dude, do it like I just did. I just looked up the word metonymy, you know, describes a figure of speech where a thing or concept is referred to by the name of something closely associated. Like when you say the White House and refer to the president, Wall Street, you refer to the stock market, the crown, you refer to the royal family, suits, you're referring to corporate professionals. I love looking shit up just because I don't know everything and I'd like to know a little more. But you guys have that access. And instead of being the home of the brave and land of the free, you're fucking cowards and stupid because you regurgitate the shit that somebody on the TV or podcast, I'm guessing, told you, and you trusted them enough to allow yourself to go out into the public sphere on the virtual web and embarrass yourself by saying shit like, socialism, no more private property. And it's like, look a little more into that. I encourage you. Stop being scared at like, I'd like to believe I'm an idealist, but I just don't know. And it's like, dude, this is how shit stays the same forever. You refusing to learn. Not asking you to do anything. I'm just saying, like, you're confidently wrong in a lot of stuff. And if you just look up, I mean, it's very easy. You just type in socialism. It'll give you, here, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. We'll do the real basic shit for you. Socialism, political economic philosophy centered on the collective or public ownership. The public. You're the public. Private means corporations. The public ownership of the means of production rather than private ownership. It operates on the core idea that sharing resources and centralizing control over the economy creates a more egalitarian society that prioritizes human need over corporate profit. I did it for you, Waffle. I did it for you, buddy. Why in God's green earth a philosophy that prioritizes human need and the public, which that's us, we're the public, if you don't know that, over corporate profit, take away your private property. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, socialism, they want to give you all the means of production. They want you to be in charge of your work, but they're going to take your house when you're not looking. Like on its face, it just sounds like, so what? I got to live at work? What the fuck is going on? Really? So they give me my workplace and let me have all the value that I created, but they steal my home? That's a weird philosophy. My God. This is America. This is why I say it should be the land of the fucking dumb and the home of the I won't look shit up. The land of the dumb and the home of the confidently wrong. My God. This is why the American system is what it is. Because they want you to tune into Joe Rogan when he tells you socialism is when they take all your houses. You know, meanwhile, later in the episode, Joe Rogan's like, hey man, I'm pretty sure that TikTok was real. And they're like, Joe, it's a comedy channel? He's like, what? Comedy channel on TikTok? That's where I get all my news. Like the dumbest fucking people ever. Lemony, don't engage with Danny. Don't engage with Dammy. Dammy, that's his name, Dammy. Those two N's are congealed to make an M because his full name is Brain Damage. We just call him Dammy here. Oh my God. Thank you for letting me go on that socialism tear, Waffle. I appreciate that. And Waffle, are you still here? Please be still here. Promise me. Hold on. I just want you to look up the agrarian reform. Agrarian Reform Law, Cuba. First Agrarian Reform Law, 1959. Okay, I was right. That's the first one. They had one in 63. But the first agrarian reform law in 1959, signed just months after the triumph of the Cuban Revolution. Viva la Cuba! Hasta la siempre! No, hasta la victoria siempre! This legislation was designated to eradicate rural poverty. You might be rural. You might be poverty. What the Cuban Revolution did was seek to eradicate your poverty. This legislation was designed to eradicate rural poverty, reduce foreign dependency, reduce foreign corporations fucking coming in and siphoning out all the wealth, and dismantle the latifundio, large estate system. The plantation owners. Land limits. The land established an upper limit of 402 hectares, approximately 1,000 acres of land that an individual could own. Expropriation. Any holdings exceeding this limit were expropriated by the state. Redistribution. The confiscated land was primarily distributed in 27 hectare, approximately 67 acres. Yo, that's a lot. 67 acre parcels to tenant farmers, sharecroppers, and agricultural workers who had previously lived and worked on the land without titles, without owning it. These people lived and worked on their own land and owned nothing. They paid rent and they got low wages because of the foreign intervention. What Fidel and Che did when they got into power is the first agrarian reform of Cuba, 1959. And they said, nope, nope, we're going to take that shit back. But there's more to it because where this is like a generic one. Wait. Agrarian reform law, Cuba. Hold on, stop doing that. I don't want AI. Please leave me alone. Reform law, no foreign. Okay, so Cuba's landmark first agrarian reform law, enacted in 59, explicitly abolished the right of foreign corporations and individuals to own agricultural land in Cuba. The legislation sought to eliminate vast foreign-owned states such as U.S.-owned sugar plantations, redistributing the arable land to peasants, cooperatives, and the Cuban state. They kicked America the fuck out because America was doing what America does. It was causing what we're under right now. Really low wages, no home ownership. Like, this is what I mean. This isn't idealism. This is like, how the fuck did they do this? Oh, a revolution. That's right. You know what I mean? True communism is very specific. That's right. Cuba still face Chevy Bel Air car parts. What? Okay. What up? You seen Heat? Yo, I think I seen Heat a long time ago. And yeah, 1995. Yeah, I think I've seen Heat a long time ago. This is also why I love the comment section, because I absolutely adore questions. Like, listen, I've been on YouTube for a long time, and that's still one of my favorite things. Somebody jumps into a chat. There's like this heated debate on like what socialism has done for the people, and somebody's like, "Yo, man, you seen Heat, 1995?" Who fucking said that? Bong hit transplant. I fucking adore you. I don't even know your politics, but let me just tell you, I adore you. I adore you. Yo, my man came in here hot. He was like, "Yo, man, you seen Heat 1995?" I don't think there's another Heat, so that's the only one I'm familiar with. But I'm so sorry. That just made my day. I've been having a very hard week, and that just that just truly fucking made me happy. I I I I just appreciate you. There's a deep appreciation. I'm just here to have fun, boss. I could tell, boss. Nice boss's shirt. You listen to Slapshot or Have Heart? Why do I know? Hold on. Slapshot. Not the movie. Oh, why do I know this band? I couldn't tell you. It's not something on my Wait, are they straight edge band? Yeah, okay, okay. That's how I know of them. Okay, that's how I know of them. Okay. They're one of the straight. Yes, yes. I'm familiar. I can't say I listen to, but I'm very yes. I'm just here to have fun, boss. Again, some of the greatest comments are coming coming on the back nine, folks. OG Boston Hardcore. Yeah, I just couldn't put it together. Burt Reynolds has a movie called Heat. Oh, really? Charlie Kelly, you're one of my favorites. Does Burt Reynolds now you're gonna kill me. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I did not know. Oh my god, you're right. That's 86 though. It's not even 95. This is the original Heat. An ex-mercenary working as a bodyguard in Las Vegas. That is a Burt Reynolds 1986 movie, my friend. Holy shit. It didn't do good on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, but you know, in retrospect, everybody's got fucking 2020 vision and hindsight. They're like, that Burt Reynolds is a mercenary. I don't know about that. But I'm sure at the time this came out, it was a banger. People were fucking lining up for that fucking handlebar mustache Burt Reynolds got. Hold on, let me read the poster. Nick Escalante isn't a violent man by nature. He's just good at it. Protection is his business, especially when it comes to his friends. Burt Reynolds, it doesn't get any hotter. Oh man. God damn it, Charlie. Now I'm gonna have to watch this. 95 Heat, best movie ever. Oh, bro. Okay. We'll do okay. Those are fighting words, you know. We can talk about communism social all you want, but best movie ever, 95 Heat. I gotta disagree. I would say what was it? 1999? Hold on. 97. I'm sorry. Jesus, 97? I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Don't do that to me. Good Will Hunting, 1997. By the chode you know is Ben Affleck, but I have a personal connection to this movie, and Robin Williams is in it. And it did much better on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And then I would contend with you. I'm not saying it's the best movie, but the Dark Knight trilogy with the fuck's his name? Heath Ledger and Tom Hardy. The villains in those two movies, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, I have not seen better villains yet. Heat versus Heat. Charlie Kelly, please everybody hit subscribe and notification bell. Share this with your friends. Spread the word. We need to get this channel bigger so we could do an all-night movie watch where we watch 1986's Burt Reynolds Heat, where it doesn't get any hotter. And then we can watch, let's see what the tagline for the other Heat is. Heat 1995. Where is the they didn't have a catchphrase for it? Yeah, I guess in the 90s it wasn't much about the catchphrase, it was about the narrator. In a world. And then we go back to back. We watch 1995 Heat. A Heat off. Heat off. Shut Pixie. 95 Heat is 3 hours long. And yo, we could do it. And I think we kind of owe it to ourselves to figure out which Heat is better, 1986 or 1995. I know where Bong Hit lands, but maybe he hasn't seen Burt Reynolds' Heat, you know? Maybe he hasn't seen that Burt Reynolds doesn't get any hotter in 1986's Heat. Little Oreo in you. Good to see you. True, I did a double feature with Heat and Sicario with my homie last week. Oh, Sicario's a pretty good one. That just reminded me of something. There's a good, not Sicario, because Sicario's okay. I can't remember. Yeah, it's a good one. There's another fucked up cop movie. What is it? God damn. Oh, was it Training Day? Training Day. But that I don't think that's you triggered me when you said Sicario. Something came into my head. Training Day's great. But you can't go wrong with fucking Denzel Washington. Like I didn't want to like those Equalizer movies. And then my brother showed me one of them and I was like, "Oh, damn, these are good. Okay. I get it." And then I watched that stupid Mark Wahlberg Denzel movie where it's like they're both undercover cops and I was like, "Okay, this one's kind of decent too." Denzel, he's just got Riz, man. Carlito's Way. Oh, well, yeah, that's a classic. Training Day is sick. I remember when I first would have me up watching, but I love Ethan Hawke too. I think I'm just biased to some of the characters, the the actors that are playing characters. No offense for old men. No, not no offense. No offense to old men. You mean No Country for Old Men? That one. No Country is unreal. Unreal. Oh, what's up, Nightshades? Good to see you. Tarantino. Tarantino. I know there's so much hype around him, but there's one movie that is so hold on, hold on. I forget what it's called. The Grindhouse. Uh oh my god. This was the one Tarantino where it's probably a ripoff of something else. But the Grindhouse Tarantino double feature. I don't know why. I just love because I don't even like the actors really. Like I wasn't in for all the actors. I just thought it was like compelling pacing and storytelling that was just weird. And so if you've never seen Grindhouse, it's a double feature. It's Planet Terror and Death Proof. And Death Proof is what's his name? What's his damn name? Uh Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell and his car. And it's so messed up. Grindhouse, Death Proof is such a and then Planet Terror is like a zombie. It's like a weird, yeah. So they Grindhouse pays homage to the exploitation films of the '70s, with its title deriving from the now funk theaters that would show such films. Um, I think that's why, because I like some of those exploitation films, like The Last Samurai or uh, what was it, The Last Dragon? I forget. There's all those weird movies that I used to watch. I don't know. So I think that's what tied me into it. But check if you haven't seen those, check those out. Oh no, what is Waffle saying? Don't worry about Pee Wee's Big Adventure, A Boy and His Bike. That's a great movie. The Pee Wee movies. Okay, you know Death Proof too? There we go. Um dude, just don't mind Waffle. He's mouthing off because he got owned with, you know, not knowing not show enough. That's what I'm talking about. Show enough. There was more too, like yeah. What was God the black yeah, movie? What is the not the Mac? Superfly. That was another one that I couldn't. I don't know how I found all. It's okay. Enough, guys. Robbie didn't read a single reply. Well, my apologies, but you going after Frankenberry, man. Leave Frankenberry alone, guys. Come after me. Take it out on me, okay? Take Breaking and Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. Those are great movies too. Okay, guys, listen, I gotta wrap it up. Please hit subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you for the super chats. It's good to see you guys. Please come back tomorrow and share this with friends. Much love, much respect. Peace.